Hi, today I'm going to show you a new tool called the form extender. These are designed to go onto concrete forms and help make it so you don't have to cut your lumber anymore, and it saves a lot of time and money. So here's just a little display setup we have. So the design on these is they're tension fit, so they can slide right on top of a 2x4, add length to that 2x4 without having to get the right board size, cut it down to length. So in a case like this, perhaps you needed 10 feet to get to this point. Maybe you had a 9'6" on the truck or a 10'6". Instead of cutting the 10'6", you use the 9'6", bring it over, and if this is the side you're pouring on, you can just add that form extender right on there. It's easy enough to edge by, easy enough to get off. They're really slick. They got area to grab for your fingers to pull off, and it helps slide right over the 2x4s. If you're pouring around a corner, you can just set this right on the end of the board here. You don't need any stakes or any tools. It just clips right on, and then you can, like if this were a sidewalk, you could pour right here into your driveway. You can butt up to something, so if this is your pour area here, you can just butt these right up to it, and again, you don't need any stakes or anything. You just put it right on your 2x4. They work good for flex form transition. So here's a 2x4, you got some flex form. Normally you would put a stake here to keep this from bowing in. So in this case, say we want to set this end too now, we're just going to set this form extender right there. And you put your stakes in the back, support that, but you got your height here so it doesn't get too high. And the form extender is going to hold it from coming in. So when you put those tight curves on and you got that big spring-loaded form there, the stake right here is eliminated. Therefore, you don't have to pull it out and fill that area with concrete anymore. If we're doing a driveway and you come up to some obstacle, whether it's pavers, maybe plastic engine, concrete curbing, normally you would have to take these out so you can get your form through here. Well, we also make this gap form. So now you can just leave that obstacle there, set your form around it, put that gap form right in there. And the nicest thing about that is you don't have to try to get these pavers set back in place when you're done. So it just straddles right around that. One obstacle that's kind of a pain in the butt to work around are sprinkler heads. So if you have a sprinkler head alongside a driveway and you're replacing that driveway, instead of digging this out to get your form through, you just leave this in place now, set your form close to it either side, 3-4 inches away, doesn't really matter. And then you're just gonna straddle this sprinkler head with this gap form and go right over it just like you would in this situation here. Deck posts, if you're doing a patio and you're pouring up to deck posts, you would normally have to cut your form to fit between these posts. Now you just need to get your form close, 3-4 inches, even 5 inches one side or the other. We'll set a string line about 3/4 of an inch inside the post. A lot of times these posts are crooked, they're twisted. I have a 2x6 here and a 2x4 here just to show they work for both. Once we get our form set, we can just set a gap form right in there, and it goes right in front of that. No need to even put expansion joint there. You'll keep your lines nice and straight. You'll just set one in front of this post, however many posts you have, and it makes a nice straight line. A lot easier too. So simple to come off. Just make sure there's nothing above it so you can slide these off. With the post in the way, you want to make sure there's no lath or anything there, because once the concrete's poured, you need to be able to get these off. So a lot of uses for them. The Expert kit comes with all 10 of these pieces. So you get the 3-foot, the 2-foot, 18-inch, you get the gap form with it. You'll get the 2 1-foot pieces, you're gonna get 2 9-inch pieces and 2 6-inch pieces in that Expert kit. We make them in a 2x4. We also make them in a 2x6 version. A 2x6, it's just taller, it's gonna work for your 2x6s, and we also make them for 2x8s. Saves you lumber. It means you need to have less forms on the truck because you won't have to have one for everything, and you're not going to lose your good boards. They're going to stay good because you're not going to have to cut them anymore. So check them out. Thank you.